I get up in the morning and look at Jill and say, where the hell are we?
President Biden faces another major test today as he continues to try to quiet doubts about his fitness for re-election. The president will take questions from reporters in a very rare solo news conference this afternoon, marking the last day of the NATO summit happening in Washington. And a strong performance could convince the growing chorus of doubters that he can serve a second term. But any stumble risks bringing more calls for him to step aside. This is a big deal for President Biden because he actually doesn't do this very often.
Hold on to your butts.
Our partnerships matter. This moment matters. We must rise to meet it. With that, I'll take your questions. I've been given a list of people to call on here.
What a shocker.
But I'm good. I'm tested every single day about my neurological capacity to do decisions I make every day. You talk to my staff, all of you talk to my staff. Sometimes my staff talks a lot. But the fact of the matter is, I don't think you have them telling you that all the major ideas we've undertaken haven't been in part initiated by me. I remember when the staff and I said, I'm going to go to South Korea, we're going to get the chip. What are you doing? I'm going to get Japan and Korea. I'm going to go to South Korea, we're going to get the chip. What are you doing? I'm going to get Japan and Korea.
You answered on whether you would be ready to go deal with Putin and Xi 2 or 3 years from now.
I'm ready to deal with them now and 3 years from now. Look, like I said,
We're riding with Biden. We're riding with Biden.
Thank you, Mr. President. I wanted to ask you about your, you mixed up Presidents Zelensky and Putin earlier today.
Russia will not prevail in this war. Ukraine will prevail in this war. And we'll stand with them every single step of the way. That's what the compact says, loudly and clearly. And now I want to hand it over to the president of Ukraine, who has as much courage as he has determination. Ladies and gentlemen, President Putin. President Putin. We're going to beat President Putin. President Zelensky. I'm so focused on beating Putin, we got to worry about it. Anyway.
He is as sharp as ever.
I love my staff, but they add things. They add things all the time. At the very end. I'm catching hell from my wife for that. Anyway. I'm sorry. The question is, what's the best use of the weaponry he has and the weaponry we're getting to him? I've gotten him more long-range capacity as well as defensive capacity. And so our military is where I'm following the advice of my commander-in-chief, I'm following the advice of my commander-in-chief.
I had a stand-in, a front man or front woman, and they had an earpiece in, and I was just in my basement in my sweats looking through the stuff, and then I could sort of deliver the lines, but somebody else was doing all the talking and ceremony. Wow. I'd be fine with that.
What concerns do you have about Vice President Harris's ability to beat Donald Trump if she were at the top of the ticket?
Look, I wouldn't have picked Vice President Trump to be vice president, but I think she was not qualified to be president. So let's start there. Number one, I wouldn't have picked Vice President Trump to be vice president, but I think she was not qualified to be president.
Is everything okay? Kidding me?
Respectfully, earlier you misspoke in your opening answer. You referred to Vice President Harris as Vice President Trump. Right now, Donald Trump is using that to mock your age and your memory. How do you combat that criticism from tonight?
Listen to him.
This concludes tonight's press conference. Thank you, everybody.
Look, you know it, and I know it. Joe doesn't know he's alive.
Some people ask whether you are fit for the job. And when you hear that, I wonder what you think.
Watch me.